that Home Minister Amit Shah has landed in Pahalgam. There he is. That's his helicopter. That's an Army Cheetah helicopter in which Home Minister Amit Shah has landed in Pahalgam. That's the high security zone where he has arrived, and he will presumably be going straight to the site where the attack actually took place. He is accompanied by members of the Unified Command as well, from whom he received a full brief earlier today. Special security for the Home Minister as he arrives in Pahalgam. This is one of the many meadows in Pahalgam, which is part of Anantnag district, the center of where the terror attack took place yesterday. There's no audio in these pictures. I want to once again remind our viewers, because I get this question quite often, especially on social media, about why there isn't audio in some of these pictures. These are video images that are coming out from the agencies themselves, and therefore, for security reasons, perhaps, there is no audio layer, and therefore that's the reason why you can't hear it. The Home Minister has arrived. He will be meeting with the local authorities, visiting the site, speaking with the NIA. The NIA team that obviously reports to him will be a few hours into their investigation already. So a top-level brief from the ground, which is hugely important, not just of symbolic value, but extremely important, because the buck stops, viewer. Let's never forget, the buck stops as far as internal security is concerned with the man you see on your screen alighting from that helicopter, Home Minister Amit Shah. He will be plugging into the Cabinet Committee on Security meeting at 6 p.m., which, as our reporter just informed us, has been shifted from earlier today to 6 p.m. In order to ensure that all of the latest information from the NIA, from the Home Minister himself, and the Unified Command structure in Jammu and Kashmir is available to the decision makers, chaired by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself at 6 p.m. Home Minister Amit Shah, remember, was dispatched to J&K immediately after news of the attack reached the Prime Minister, who was in Saudi Arabia. He himself, remember, cut short his 2-day visit and returned early this morning to India. And he will be chairing that Cabinet Committee on Security meeting. Nazir Masoodi, our man on the ground in Pahalgam, is with me live. Nazir, Home Minister Amit Shah in Pahalgam after those truly moving, compelling images of him with the victims' families. Just give us a quick brief, Nazir, on what the Home Minister will be doing there, who he will be meeting, and any other details you're picking up.
Home Minister Amit Shah is known for knowing every detail. Whenever he's always prepared for whatever he's doing. That's why he is going to the last point where the attack has taken place. First, he yesterday held a meeting with the top officials. This morning, paid homage to the victims, then met the families and injured also, and then going to where all this had happened. Actually, to see the area. Number one, this is not the area which is some closed LOC would say, oh, just recently infiltrators had come and they did this. That's not the case. This is almost 300 kilometers away from LOC. Far away, Pahalgam. That's why Pahalgam was literally off the radar. So Home Minister himself going there, why there was not an advisory to the tourists if they had some inkling that there would be some attack? Why tourists, so large number of tourists were allowed to be there when there was some suspicion, though, as I said, Pahalgam, nobody had suspected, even as security force were launching relentless operations over the last 4-5 days because of certain input that there could be some attack. Now, Home Minister himself going there, because this evening he will be briefing the Cabinet Committee on Security about the ground situation and the ground realities, what has happened and what should be the response. And he has already, as we have seen, meeting with the people, now seeing the circumstantial thing, what exactly is the ground, how terrorists may have come and executed this horrific, massacre where 26 people lost their lives and 17 others are injured. So Home Minister going there showing the seriousness of the government and its resolve how they want not only fix this case and see whatever were the loopholes, but also have a holistic view of the situation and devise the response of the government. and that would clearly not be limited to the Pahalgam, where already an anti-terror operation is going on, since the impact of this attack and this massacre is beyond Pahalgam and beyond Kashmir, so the response would be also equally the same. So it would be much more than that. As we talk about the situation in the Pahalgam, there has been some disturbance along the line of control also. There was one infiltration attempt which was foiled, but army said 2 terrorists have been killed. There was a ceasefire violation in Poonch sector as well. So we have to see whether actually the ceasefire along the line of control is going to stay. Because despite all the provocations, ceasefire stayed. India Army held multiple flag meetings with the Pakistani counterparts in Poonch recently. So to ensure that ceasefire stays, ceasefire between India and Pakistan came into place, and it was formalized in February 2021. And it was following the Galwan incident because army had mobilized a large number of troops to the eastern Ladakh. Now we see, despite the provocation, army never wanted that ceasefire should end. Now the question is, will this ceasefire continue? Despite the fact is that the main important, one of the 3 important, conditions for any ceasefire and peace with Pakistan was this: there cannot be any attack in India, particularly such a massacre. So we'll have to see what would be the government's response, and Home Minister on the ground personally reviewing taking stock of the situation, what has gone wrong. And when there were so many tourists, and clearly such a major massacre cannot be done just by 3 or 4 individual terrorists, gun-wielding men, unless they are actually directed by somebody. And remember, all those militants who are being pushed to Jammu and Kashmir this time, they are well trained and trained in jungle warfare, and they don't stay normally in the local homes. And in Jammu region, where the strategy has been changed, they have been taking shelter in Hindu families, forcing them to give them food. And that is another concern, because they operate in jungles, they create underground bunkers and then operate from there. And now they are coming to this side of this north of the Pir Panjal and have carried out this major attack. So Home Minister himself on the ground taking stock of the situation. He will be also briefed by the security force what may happen, what they have picked up, as NIA is taking up the investigation of this case. So besides the local response, which is the counter-militancy operation here in Pahalgam,